This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Regina League.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. My name is Regina League, and I'm here in the Charlotte area. And my favorite thing to do is to interview local business owners. And I have the pleasure today to speak with Dr. Katie Kickertz. She is the owner of Premier Endodontics of SouthPark. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I don't think I've ever had a guest that does what you do. What is endodontics?
Sure. So an endodontist is a dentist that specializes only in root canals. So general dentists go to school for 4 years, and then specialists like an oral surgeon, an orthodontist, an endodontist. We do additional training to get certification and advancement to only specialize in one area. So endodontists are root canal specialists, meaning we do root canals, we do surgical root canals, and we retreat root canals.
Retreat. What does that mean? Because I'm a gal that's had a few root canals.
So that means we kind of redo it and revise it and improve the root canal if it's not healing, if there's symptoms, if it can be improved. So that the patient can then keep their natural tooth still.
Yeah. I have memories of my very first need of a root canal, and the pain is intense. Speaking of which, let's say it's a Sunday and you feel that pain coming on and you're at home and you don't open till Monday. What can you do until you can see someone for pain?
So a lot of times your first resource may be like your general dentist who you usually see, and sometimes they have emergency hours or a number you can call. When it's my patients that I've already seen, typically they'll reach out to the office and I'll get alerted so that I can get on the phone with them and talk about pain management, whether it's over-the-counter medications or prescription medications, if there's swelling or something like that. And sometimes it's just reassurance of like what's normal, especially after a treatment. If it's feeling sore, sometimes you just want to make sure that it's okay, that it's not 100% yet. And it's
right.
Very much that way. Yeah.
Big time. Well, tell us about your journey and what made you open up your own practice in the SouthPark area.
Sure. So I'm originally from the Midwest. I grew up outside of Chicago. Did most of all of my education in the Midwest. I did my endodontic residency at the University of Minnesota and up in Minneapolis, where I met my husband. And then I worked out in that area, for a big corporation, a private practice, never my own boss. And then when COVID happened, my husband was working from home. We thought this is an opportunity to get out of the cold. So I took a different job in like the DC area, and that was great. It was a nice move forward. And then I actually got recruited to come down to Charlotte area to work at another office that was another corporate office. And I thought it would be this dream job, and it was not at all. It was a really negative experience, but it was the experience that pushed me to then say, I'm not going to work for somebody else anymore. And I had been practicing for quite a while at that point and thought, you know what, I can do this. So I went out and thought, I'm just going to start my own instead. So sometimes it's just, you never know where you're going to end up and why, but it'll work out.
That's amazing and very brave, I should say.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I think it's definitely worth it. I do not regret it.
Well, the neat thing I've noticed in being a patient at dentists, when you have a newer practice, the technology that you have is so updated. Talk to us about your technology.
Yeah. So in my specialty of endodontics, we use a lot of technology to begin with. We do CBCT imaging, which is a 3D area scan that we look at, only a small portion of teeth. So we're getting to see the inside of the tooth, and it helps us to diagnose and treatment plan the best options on how to address an issue. We also use microscopes. So I have a microscope in every room, and I use a microscope every day, all day. To see inside of this tiny tooth that I'm removing the nerve tissue from. In my practice.
What do you mean? The microscope comes up to your mouth?
No, so it mounts like above, like where you're sitting as a patient, and then I can zoom in. So I can just look through my microscope and it looks down at your tooth, and then I can zoom in pretty heavily, and then I have a camera attached to it so I can take some pictures if I need to. Sometimes like a tooth has a crack in it, so we have to, say we can't fix the tooth, and that affects the prognosis. So I can take an image of it and then pull it up on my screen and show my patient, hey, this is what we found, So it really helps with documentation and being able to treatment plan the best. And then in my office, I have some more advanced technology for cleaning the tooth better. So I use a laser that helps to really disinfect really well, and is really good on surgical procedures because it's less pain when healing. It makes the treatment a lot more efficient. And then I also have a brand new technology called Odontic Clean that helps to really disinfect the tooth a lot better using just sterile water. So that's a really new addition in the last month that we've added to the practice to help get better results for our patients.
In your field, do you guys have continuing ed or things? How do you stay up to date on what's out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, but the state dictates that, dentists need to do a certain amount of continuing education hours. Myself, I am really involved in my endodontic association, which is called the American Association of Endodontists. And I'm on the continuing education committee, strangely enough. So we help to filter out and provide education to endodontists throughout the country and the world. And so that's an easy way to get a lot more information from just your field as well. So
yeah, it keeps you connected too. And
for sure.
Have a group of people that
it's really cool because then you get to meet people from other areas, and now I have a whole resource of other practice owners that, what are you guys doing? What have you found that works? And it can be simple as like clinical stuff, like how do we fix this problem when we're doing a root canal, or as far as like, how do I manage my team, or I'm struggling with how to find a good team member. So a lot of the business stuff too.
What's age ranges do you?
Oh gosh. There's some endodontists who do see younger children. Unfortunately, there are kids who need root canals. In my practice, I don't do nitrous oxide or like laughing gas. So typically we try to see 16 and up, but I think I had a 96-year-old this week. So, I mean, all ages. So, yeah.
Oh dear. She must have been in a lot of pain.
It's a huge age range. I mean, there's so many reasons you could end up needing a root canal, unfortunately. So it's not just like a certain age is the high risk people.
Gotcha. Well, your website is absolutely beautiful. And I noticed when I was reading a little bit about you, your goal was to create an environment that was warm and welcoming and comfortable. And that is so well conveyed on your website. I can just tell, there's a nice touch there. Walk us through your services other than, what you obviously have pointed out. You do root canals, but you also do some other things.
Yeah. We see a lot of emergencies. So sometimes when you're like, that's a big part of it. And maybe it's not necessarily root canal is the final answer, but like sometimes I'm the person that can help get the patient out of pain. So we see a lot of like swelling, pain, trauma too. So that's one like sports trauma, like kids, teenagers falling and hitting their front teeth. And like that has a major impact on their well-being and ability to function too. So we see that trauma as well, but it's really a lot of straightforward root canals, getting people out of pain that have infections or a lot of inflammation and sensitivity, redoing the root canals like we mentioned. And then I do root canal surgery, which is a little bit more invasive, but still done right here in the office where if we have more aggressive infections that need to be addressed further than a retreatment, then a lot of times that's an option too.
Do you get referrals from dentists, or how does it?
That's primarily how it works. So most of the time you go in you have pain and your dentist says, oh no, you need a root canal. You need to see the specialist. So that's how a lot of patients find me. A lot of patients will find me from like reviews that they've read, or maybe in network with their insurance, which is super helpful for a lot of patients. Yeah. Or it could be just the neighborhood, but we do accept self-referrals too. Sometimes patients like have had pain before and they know that this is a root canal pain. So they're like, I'm just going to call and, we get them in.
Yeah. You have great reviews. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a lot with the team is really good. And we really try to focus on being patient and kind with everybody. Because a lot of times when you call and the patient's in pain, we're not the most lovely people when we're in pain. So it's you have to have a lot of empathy and patience.
Yeah, I'm one of those that wants every drug you can give me. Me and dentistry have had a history. So I see on your website Botox for TMJ. How does that work?
Well, a lot of times tooth pain might not be tooth in origin, and it can be more what we call myofascial, meaning it's like the muscles of your jaw. So Botox can really help with that, or injectables for that matter. Along with, if we need to talk with a TMJ specialist, that's another specialty, or doing physical therapy. It can help to really alleviate a lot of chronic pain and headaches too, because it's all interconnected and can radiate. So I do a decent number of Botox for TMJ and myofascial pain that is it's not a cure-all, of course, but it really does help a lot of patients. And like I do it on myself sometimes too. And when I'm very stressed and overworking my jaw muscles, it definitely helps.
Yeah, I'm a grinder, so I'm sure, that clenching too. So
yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like you're going to the gym and overworking that muscle and it's just sore.
Yeah, so I'm sure you run into some patients there's just many misconceptions about your line of work. Do you have any you can share or want to talk about?
For sure. Yeah, a lot of misconceptions about, safety and pain, especially like root canals are highly successful. I mean, each patient situation is a little bit different. But we have over 90% success rate for regular root canal. So that's nothing is as good as keeping your own tooth 100%. So we want to keep that as long as possible. And if sometimes you need a root canal to do that, a lot of times it's like scary fears of like pain and it's going to be terrible. And, you found something on the internet or your uncle has told you something from like 50 years ago and how bad it was. And it's really, going to the dentist, no one is usually thrilled about that. But, we get you profoundly numb. We take care of it so you can start feeling better. And some soreness is pretty reasonable afterwards. But, most of the patients leave and say, like, I can't believe that was it. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. A lot of it's kind of overcoming the obstacle in your mind. And we try to just explain everything we're doing step by step so they know how long it's going to take, what process we're in, how's it going, so that you don't get in your head too much and worry unnecessarily.
I think the Novocaine or whatever it's called has come a long ways since I had my first one maybe, God, I'd hate to tell you, probably 35 years ago. And you're right. Now it's like, wasn't so bad.
And I will say endodontists, we deal with people in extreme pain. So we're really good at getting numb.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of extra techniques to do it.
Yeah. Well, now you've got your own practice. You've been, through a journey of working for others. What are you most proud of?
I think that's just it, is starting it from scratch. I didn't buy somebody else's established practice. I built everything up and put a lot of work into it. And I'm really thankful to have a lot of support and great people around the Charlotte area, like the patients, the referring doctors. Like it's been wonderful working with all of them. But even, the builder who helped me in designing it and getting everything executed, it's like they become really great friends and colleagues that I can refer people to use as well. So I'm definitely most proud of starting something from scratch and just being able to enjoy my work.
Yeah, and rightfully so. So I noticed on your bio, you were a figure skater. My goodness. Which makes sense if you're up there where all the snow and ice is. But how did you get into that and what did you do?
Yeah. So like I grew up I was born in the 80s. So I loved watching figure skating on TV and I, would beg my mom to go skating. And eventually she took me like an outdoor lagoon and I had so much fun that I begged to let me take lessons. And I just kind of evolved from there and it became kind of like my whole world for most of my childhood. I would go away summers to train. I was a very competitive figure skater and it taught you a lot of discipline and organizational skills that then translate into life and career, of course. But, I really enjoyed it. I loved the daily practicing of it and I'm still involved in it as well as an official. So I judge figure skating as a volunteer. So it's cool to be able to still be involved in it and not have to do the training.
Yeah. You go skating anywhere near Charlotte?
There's a couple of rinks. There's one in Pineville and one in Indian Trails that are good. So I usually try to find one of the most obscure times where not that many people are there, so I can skate a little more and
do your stuff.
Have more freedom to spread out and go faster, basically.
Who was your favorite skater back in the day?
Oh, my original favorite skater would be Katarina Witt, the German champion from the 80s, but also Michelle Kwan, the classic, just beautiful skating skills and lines.
Yeah, you know what? It's very artistic. I can see how beautiful that and fun that would be in those cute little costumes they get to wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Katie, it's been so fun. Tell our listeners how they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm located in SouthPark, off of Fairview, off of Carnegie Boulevard specifically. So we're open Monday through Thursday and some Fridays to see patients as well. So my website's endodontics of SouthPark.com. And our phone number is
and your phone number?
Yep, 980-423-1272.
Wonderful. It has been a pleasure. Congratulations. I mean, it just looks like a wonderful practice. If I ever need you, if I ever have another one, I'm coming to you.
Sounds good. I'm here for you.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpsouthcharlotte.com. That's gnpsouthcharlotte.com or call 980-351-5719.